Hello, my name is Jillian Michales and welcome to this week's edition of River Hawk Spotlight. Today I'm sitting down with senior captain Brooke Boes of the women's swimming and diving team. Brooke, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to start by discussing the obstacles that your team in particular are facing due to the COVID-19 pandemic. How has the team adapted to any challenges that you faced?
So I think a big challenge that we've had to overcome is preseason training. So over the summer, normally everybody is swimming with their club teams or they're joining a gym or just exercising as much as they can on their own. But because most of the gyms were closed and a lot of club teams weren't practicing, it was really hard for people to get in the water. And as a swimmer, any other training is obviously beneficial, but being in the pool is the most beneficial. So if you aren't swimming for a while, it's really hard to get back into it. But we've slowly eased into it with captain's practices, and we've been able to get back into the water, and I think everybody's been adapting really well to that.
Yeah, of course, I can totally imagine. So with all the ever-changing news, particularly on campus, has it been difficult to get into the pool, and have you guys faced any challenges with it being closed or anything like that?
Yeah, so it definitely has been an adjustment for swimming. So since we only have a 6-lane pool, we've had to have 5 practices a day, and we can only have 12 people in the pool at once with one person on each end of the lane. So it's definitely been tough because you have to make the same exact practice time every day, which is difficult with changing class schedules and other various things that come up during the day. But we've been able to adapt pretty well. We put in place a schedule that everybody's been able to follow pretty decently. And although it's definitely tough only being able to swim with 12 people, it does also have its benefits because you can get more attention from the coach because they have less people to focus on and you have more room in the lane. So it definitely is hard not to be with your whole team, but it can have some benefits as well.
Speaking of the team, how are you planning to adapt team bonding and engage your swimmers now that everything must be socially distanced?
That's a really good question. So actually recently my co-captain and I have implemented smaller team bonding. So what we've done is every 2 weeks we create 8 groups of around 3 or 4, and we try to mix in one person from each grade within each of the groups. And then I come up with a bunch of different questions and games to play, and I tell everybody to try and meet at least once throughout the 2 weeks and then report back to me. And I've taken surveys and asked people what they think of it, and they seem to really like it, so I'm really excited with that. And even without COVID-19, I think this would still be a really good thing to implement in the future because it really forces you to meet people and interact with people that you normally don't on a one-to-one basis. And in addition to that, we also try and do some group team bondings, either outdoors and socially distanced or over Zoom where we play games or just have a team meeting.
It sounds like you're doing a great job, Brooke, really keeping everyone engaged. Props to you. I'm sure it must be super challenging. So as mentioned previously, you're in your final year swimming for Susquehanna. How has the team evolved within the last 4 years?
So since I was a freshman, I definitely think our team has gotten a lot faster. Each year, the incoming freshmen get faster and faster, and obviously we've had a change of coaches over the last 2 years, so that's definitely changed a little bit too. So I think that we've definitely become more acclimated as a team and more adaptive to change. So since we had a new coach, everything was different, the practices were different. The certain things we do during practice are different and the timing and everything. So we've definitely become more adaptable, and I also think it's kind of brought us closer as a team because we're definitely in it for the competition, but we're also in it for more than that. We really try and be positive. We have little positivity boxes on deck where people can write something nice about someone if they notice they were having a really good practice and put it in the box. So I think over the years, we've definitely become stronger and also more united as a team.
That's great to hear. I'm sure that you guys are really excited for hopefully a season that everyone's fingers crossed that you guys have a season. So in regards to that, do you have any specific goals?
Yeah, so I think one of my specific goals is for everyone to try and stay super focused and still really engaged in the season, regardless of whether or not we know if we're going to have meets or not. It's obviously really hard for people to practice when they don't know when the next time they're going to compete is going to be. But we do have, every Saturday we try and do some racing and we try and do time things so that people are still super motivated. So I think one of my goals for the team would be for everyone to still have that mentality that we are still a team, we still need to take these practices seriously, and we need to remain positive even during like such questionable times. We never know when the pool might be shut down for a few days or if we're going to be sent home. But as long as we're all positive and still motivated and acting like we're preparing for a season, I think that we could still have a really good outcome.
Those sound like excellent goals, Brooke, and I'm sure that your team is probably really thankful for your leadership. Now, changing gears a little, being at Susquehanna gives you the unique opportunity to study abroad for a semester while being a student athlete that at other schools you can't normally do that. So where did you go abroad and how did you balance any training in preparation for the swim season?
That's a really good question. So I actually went abroad to a small city called Maastricht in the Netherlands. And so they unfortunately didn't have a pool that I could swim at, but I did join a local gym and I was able to continue my cardio endurance with running and other cardio exercises as well as strength training with lifting. And then another really unique thing about the Netherlands is that you have to ride a bike everywhere you go. So I was biking all the time, walking all the time, staying super active. So it was definitely tough getting back into it, but I think the active lifestyle in Europe in general and specifically the Netherlands was super helpful for me personally getting back into the pool.
Sounds like you had such a lovely time in the Netherlands. I'm sure you miss it dearly. Thank you so much Brooke for coming onto the show, and for everyone watching, I hope you guys tune in next week. Thank you so much and have a great day.